All right. Welcome to another episode of the Dcom debate. Uh, Today's episode, we are talking about two Dcom classics.
Yeah.
We
Big
got
time players.
Big
players
time
in,
players.
in the Dcom world for sure.
Continuing on with our little March Madness style stuff going on, we are talking about High School Musical versus The Luck of the Irish.
Yes.
I am arguing on behalf of Luck of the Irish, and you're doing High School Musical.
Happy to be doing High School Musical today, as a matter of fact. High School Musical, as a kid, when this came out, I was in 7th grade?
This came out in 2006.
Yeah, something right around there. Right.
Yeah, so I was in 6th grade when this came out. I remember, because I remember my class, the girls in my class being so fucking excited for this movie.
I was in my 7th grade field trip, and girls were going crazy over this. And obviously, as a 7th grade little boy, just getting into wrestling and shit, I didn't.
Oh no!
You know what I mean? I had no interest in such a movie. And I may have watched it once, but they would play the commercials over and over again. And on my rewatch, like they would play not just the commercials, but they would play like the songs from the movie.
I remember "We're Soaring," hearing "We're Soaring," "We're Flying," just
Soaring.
all the time. All the time. I remember.
We're breaking free, soaring, flying. How was that? I might do that more than once throughout this episode. This was it's like, so obviously, we can get the obvious out the way. I don't want to use this as like a major argument throughout this, but like High School Musical had the clearly had, 2 sequels plus a series, which I did not know about this until I was watching it with my friend, and they told me about High School Musical, the series.
Yeah.
High School Musical, the musical
No,
series.
I heard about that.
No, that's not something I'd be interested in watching, of course.
No.
But rewatching the first one, I couldn't, right off the bat, right when I first heard I didn't know how much I'd remember, but right when I first heard that first song, like the rest of the song started coming to me. I'm like, oh my god, this is actually gonna be fire. Like these songs I haven't heard in forever. Because I as someone who is a music fan, not necessarily, obviously this wasn't the kind of music I was into, but I heard it was like drilled into our heads because of the commercials. Like they would play these songs in between, like on Disney Channel without the movie. Mm-hmm. Often they would just play like the music video between like an episode or something, and so you just heard these songs over and over again. And I know that sounds like almost like a brainwashing, but to come back and rewatch it, I was happy to be brainwashed because it just brought back some serious nostalgia.
So I am not a very big fan of High School Musical. And it's interesting because I legitimately really like musicals. Like In the Heights, Tick Tick Boom, La La Land, West Side Story, all that, like all those musicals, I love them. High School Musical is a lip syncing cringe fest for an hour and 40 minutes. The lip syncing in this movie is atrocious. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Ashley Tisdale, I like her. She lip syncs like crazy. Whoever is doing that backing track is still singing after Ashley Tisdale has shut her mouth.
Dude.
Zac Efron. Zac Efron lip syncing like a motherfucker. He's not even singing the right words half the time.
I don't think we can put it. I don't think we can put it up. But I'm gonna need some personal video evidence of this
I'll
stuff.
find it. I will find it. I will record this shit off of my TV
You'll
tonight
have to
if I
go back
have
and
to.
rewatch this and find this because
I will show you. Also, there's one scene in particular where Ashley Tisdale is doing very bad lip syncing, where there is just a holy shitload of cultural appropriation when they are singing this Hispanic song, speaking in very bad Spanish. She's dressed up in this little Hispanic dress, and it is bad. It is bad.
It's funny you mentioned that. I will say I do have something in my notes.
Bad.
Here. I have Sharpay changed ethnicity for her audition.
Yeah.
that
that was bad.
It was not. Yeah. That did catch my attention. I was like, whoa. But yeah. I mean, so it takes place in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah. So another thing is, I'm thinking, all right, so like across town, Walter White is teaching chemistry here.
Dude, did you read my notes?
No.
Look at Albuquerque, New Mexico, Breaking Bad.
Once I saw Albuquerque, I was like, oh my God, Walter White is somewhere in this world.
Oh, jeez. So yeah. Does High School Musical take place in the same universe as Breaking Bad? Is he a high school teacher at that school?
I'm gonna say yes, just because that will make me like High School Musical at least a little bit more if it is in the same universe as Breaking Bad.
It seems like a beautiful place. I want to visit New Mexico sometime.
Gabriella's uncle is Tuco.
Tuco
Salamanca.
Who's that?
In Breaking Bad season 1, he's like the dude that's like crushing him.
Dude, same universe. I'm telling you, it's
I
possible.
hope so.
It's possible. Oh my God, yeah. But Albuquerque seems like a good. Like I did like the scenery of High School Musical. I liked the outside, the shots of the outside area because that was the very mountainous, right? Was it or was that?
I mean, no, Albuquerque, New Mexico is pretty desert.
Am I getting it mixed up with the Luck of the Irish background? Did they have a lot of mountains in the background? One of these movies did. I'm telling you.
No, I mean High School Musical did have a lot of mountains in the background.
Okay, that might have been.
But it also clearly wasn't. Shot
we're watching a lot of these.
Mexico.
We're watching a lot of these things.
Yeah.
Things are starting to blend a little bit. But yeah, I don't know, man. I had fun with this movie. Sharpay had a little. She had a little side joke, which she was funny throughout the thing, despite her performance there. But
despite her very obvious cultural appropriation, yes.
She had a thing where she was looking at all the basketball players, and from a distance she was like they don't know the difference between a Tony Award and a Tony Hawk. And I was just like, dude, I love that kind of cringe shit though. Like that's like I
cringe doesn't even begin to describe this movie, dude. There's Corbin Blue's shirts throughout the movie pissed me off. I remember
Chad.
one.
You know what? I remember all their names. I want to call them by.
I remember. He looks like a Chad. I remember Chad's one shirt was just "I'm laughing on the inside." I was just like, get the fuck out of here. Get a different
that is kind of
costume designer.
Okay,
there was a scene.
Can I counter on a costume thing here? And I do love the boot cut jeans throughout this. Those mid 2000s
boot cut and low rise jeans.
Yes.
So many low rise jeans.
Like such a mid 2000s and the 70s and the 2000s look they had going on.
That is what I want
to
say is that Zac Efron, and I like Zac Efron. I think he seems really cool. He seems like an awesome actor. His drip game in this movie is fucked up.
I love that.
But the karaoke scene in the beginning of High School Musical when he takes off his coat and it's that little whatever button down that does not fit him right. I'm like, yo, this preteen girls. This is your god. Like Zac Efron is your. Look at him. He looks like a doof.
I think that I think maybe partially a reason that I like this movie so much now too, though, is like, yes, that was teen girls' god back then. Now this man's like my god.
Dude,
this man now?
I love Zac Efron now. He's gonna be in a wrestling movie.
Yeah, he's playing. Oh my god, the Von Erich. He's playing one of the Von Erichs.
I really like Zac Efron. I think he's an awesome actor. I loved him in Neighbors. I loved him in. He was in a movie that not a lot of people like that I did called Firestarter, which, if you want to feel old, Zac Efron is playing dads in movies now. Zac Efron is playing fathers.
How about him in the Seth Rogen Neighbors too?
I literally
Did
just
you really?
said
Oh my god, I'm
Neighbors,
fucking stoned.
I literally just said Neighbors. Yes. Yes, but I love Zac Efron. I have had a major crush on Vanessa Hudgens probably since I saw the first commercial for High School Musical. Like, it's Vanessa Hudgens. I think most people have probably had a crush on her at some point. Or Ashley Tisdale, one of them. I will say that, like, watching High School Musical, I can understand why this movie got as big as it did. I can fully understand that. It's filmed really well. The actual cinematography and editing of this movie is top tier. Like, for Dcoms, top tier.
And the soundtrack is top tier too.
The music, when it's there, is actually pretty good. There's not a lot of music for a musical. I will say it's not. There's a couple of songs in the beginning. There's that one little cultural appropriation, and then.
But okay, you got Bop to the Top. Bop, 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 bop to the top. That's a banger.
Mm-hmm.
Get your head in the game.
I like Get Your Head in the Game.
My personal favorite of all the songs is oh no no, stick to the stuff that you know. It's so hard to hit that no part, you know. They change it.
There was one song in High School Musical where Vanessa Hudgens, who's looking at the camera the entire time in this movie. She must have shot the lens probably 37 times in this movie. But there's one part, I think it was about an hour in, where Vanessa Hudgens is walking around the hallways in her bootcut low-rise jeans, and she's singing about how Zac Efron lied to her, and she's so upset. And she's walking around the hallways. She walks up to this big banner with the Wildcats on it, and what's his name? Troy?
Troy, yes.
Troy is front and center. And Vanessa Hudgens walks up to Troy's big face and just leans against it and starts singing to it. Sitting down on this couch, I literally sat back and was just like, what the fuck? Like, literally was like, what the fuck am I watching? It was too cringy for me. It was too much. I was like, Vanessa Hudgens, I love you. Zac Efron, you are someone that I would love to be friends with, but fuck this movie.
Oh my god. Terrible. I mean, here's the thing. We got High School Musical going up against Luck of the Irish.
Luck of the Irish is a far superior movie in every aspect. Except for music. Well, actually, no. The music in Luck of the Irish it fucking hits.
Oh, what the Celtics? I'm not much of a Dropkick Murphy.
Dude, they were singing Johnny I Hardly Knew Ya, which was fucking awesome. All the very Celtic music that was going on was awesome, dude.
Probably Potato Chip Charlie. They probably put Potato Chip Charlie in there.
The music in Luck of the Irish is amazing. The acting in Luck of the Irish is really good. It's not cringy. Luck of the Irish is not cringy. There is not one scene in Luck of the Irish that I was like, ooh. There was a lot of shit going on in High School Musical that I was like, that's not okay.
Well,
that's weird. That's awkward.
I
don't like that.
Okay, to say that there's no cringe.
What was cringy in Luck of the Irish?
Just in general, in any Dcom, I think they're all gonna have.
They're all gonna
have cringe.
Well, yeah, but what's like the bad cringe
for Luck of the Irish? There is, which it's like whatever, like sure, America, but this movie was very like I even have a quote right in here that's just like it was like, yeah. We're all just American. At the end, we're all just Americans. We don't give up. Like the whole movie is very like It's weird because it's a weird concept because the movie is very about accepting all nationalities. Yet it's focused very much so around Irish, which I get it because they're doing the luck of the Irish. Like I get that it's like they wanted to do the leprechaun thing.
The whole point of
but
the
it was a
movie is to
weird-
be proud, take pride in who you are,
Yes, but while being like, so here's a whole
while
movie
being an
about-
individual.
Yeah, but here's a whole movie on Ireland, though. Be proud
Yeah,
of who you are, but here's a whole movie
because
on
leprechauns
Ireland.
are fucking awesome.
Dude, I don't
Leprechauns
know.
are so cool.
But then yeah, you know, it was there was something that felt a little, I don't know, felt a little fun. Like specifically when they're at the table and he's like, he's trying to figure out his heritage at the beginning of the movie because
Yeah.
his parents are hiding it from him. It's
Yeah.
like there's like this whole thing about like we didn't want you to get treated different because you're Irish. You know, like what?
Honestly-
Treated differently because you're Irish in 2001.
Well, I will say 2 points to that. One, the grandfather said that he was like over 200 years old. So I have a feeling that the mom is probably a little bit older. So they probably do know when their son, I can't remember his name, Kyle, is like, wasn't that Irish immigrant stuff like over 100 years ago? They probably still remember it. So it's still probably kind of fresh.
Is his mom supposed to be like 100 then?
I wouldn't be surprised if his mom is probably older. I'm sure leprechauns age differently, right? But so there's that one thing. Two,
Right? Don't leprechauns
Yeah.
age differently.
yeah, I'm sure they do. Two,
Factuals.
two, the father and the mother before she went all leprechaun, honestly, they just struck me as very waspy people. Just like waspy parents. Which, like, you know what wasps are, right?
No.
It's like just very like stern Christian white people.
Okay.
And they just came off as wasps.
It sounded kind of like a slur. I was like, what?
I don't know. I mean,
But
it's not bad. It's not bad.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's like I got a little nervous for a
No,
second.
no,
I was like,
no.
wasps.
No, wasps. Wasps are very just kind of like uppity Christian white people. That's very much what wasps are, and so that's what the parents made me think of. So it's like that's not out of the ordinary. Like I could definitely see parents being like, "You're an American," and again, if the mom has this mindset of like, "Yeah, for you, who's only like 14." Yeah, that Irish immigrant stuff was like 100 years ago. For me and my father, who came to this country with nothing and had to fight and everything.
Yeah, but but it's
worked
still
for me.
it's still just like a Disney. It's still just like a Disney movie where they could have, there's a lot of movies you can choose to do a heritage around, and like, especially like a culture that's like.
But you also have to
No.
incorporate the leprechauns, though.
Yeah, true. Because it's all about the leprechauns.
Yeah. You also have to incorporate the leprechauns.
I'm
So, I mean,
Irish.
that's the thing. I'm not
Irish,
gonna-
by the way.
I'm not gonna lie, like Luck of the Irish, yes, it's a very silly premise. Like it is super silly. It's super. It's a fantasy.
How about when he finds out his dad's name is Robert Smith from The Cure? Like, what the fuck? What was his name? It was Bob Smith, Robert Smith. Dude.
Yeah, why not?
He was from The Cure. What is
Why
this?
not? I guarantee he is not the only Robert Smith in America.
True, I
guarantee he's not the
yeah.
only Robert Smith from Cleveland.
Yeah, I actually, I actually know of Robert Smith personally. So
Yeah.
But hey,
I don't know. Luck of the Irish to me is so much fun. There's
so there's a coin, right?
the lucky coin,
The
yeah.
the lucky coin.
The luck of the
As soon
O'Reilly.
as he
The luck
loses
of the clan
coin,
O'Reilly.
like, as soon as he loses the coin, it's like he has one bad basketball game and the entire school like turns on him already. Like it's like
I was kind of thinking about that because when I watched it, I was sort of like, man, this is like a really mean school. But I was also thinking, he just lost his luck.
the coin was
The coin was his
everything.
luck. The coin is
Yeah.
literally everything.
It's
so
a very
yeah,
magical movie.
yeah. So
I was
yeah, the whole school is going to turn against him because that's just his luck. He went from like star boy to garbage boy, and so it's like.
Garbage
Yeah,
boy.
yeah, and so like the whole school, is gonna turn against him because of the coin. The coin, excuses sort of some of the weird silliness.
So how about this? I have to point this part out in the movie. I just have to.
I got arguments for all this shit.
I have to. I don't know if you have one for this. This one was bizarre. So Robbie Rotten, right? That's the bad guy from Lazy Town. It's Robbie Rotten.
Is that the same guy?
No.
Oh, Seamus McTiernan.
They just look.
They do kind of look the same.
They got the
hair,
the very dark eyebrow features.
But Seamus McTiernan is his name. Yeah. The saint of the step.
Of course, his name is Seamus. Of course, it's Seamus. Seamus.
If your heart's full of blarney.
So he's the one who takes his lucky coin. Mm-hmm. So at one point, he meets up with his grandpa, whatever. Mm-hmm. So his grandpa and so the main character, you got their main guy and his grandpa. Mm-hmm. They go into Seamus's van to get his lucky coin, mm-hmm. and to get his lucky coin back, just to take it. And when he takes it, there's this fucking ridiculous CGI scene. Which the CGI is fine. It actually looks kind of cool. Where Seamus's head comes out of the the chest with the gold and stuff.
Yeah.
He takes the grandpa
by the beard,
and sucks him in to this thing.
By the beard.
Yes, and he's like, oh my God, what just happened? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, Seamus brings the grandpa
by the beard
back into the bus.
Yeah. I love that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes of the movie.
Why would he do this whole magical suck him out of the bus just to bring him back in the bus 1 second later? There wasn't even a minute to pass. Not even a minute passed.
To show Kyle his powers, to show what Seamus is capable of. 2, obviously, to tell, because he can't get the coin back from Kyle if he's in, this cloud of coins and stuff. He has to actually be there. But he's also like, I have your grandpa by the beard. No leprechaun can escape that. Give me the coin or I have your grandpa. But again, before that, he has to show his powers. He has to show that I am not a leprechaun to be fucked with. Which is why he did the whole magic thing. Told you, I have an argument for all this shit.
I don't. It was bizarre. It was bizarre because I thought he sucked him into an underworld or something, and then he's just right outside the.
No, plus I love that scene because it's almost like a little jump scare too when Kyle opens the door and Seamus is right there.
It was.
It's a great scene.
Fair.
It showed, and I think Seamus is definitely top 3 Dcom villains to me. I think he is great.
He played a good role.
He is charismatic. He is funny, and he's scary. He is legitimately intimidating, especially I remember when I was little watching Luck of the Irish towards the end of the movie when Seamus kind of starts turning into the leprechaun when his beard gets bigger and his hair gets crazy. He kind of looked a little creepy.
Yeah.
But I also love when they're in Ireland and they're doing the sports and I love when Seamus is like, do you know nothing of your Irish heritage? And it's just kind of funny, it's the little things like that.
All these basketball last games, I will say, I think Luck of the Irish.
It was a cool one. It was a really good one.
Last game.
There's this scene in that last game when Kyle looks at the ref and is like, isn't he a little old to be playing junior high basketball? And the ref looks over at the one guy and he's just like it's a fucking Dcom. Just let it go. I love that. That's one of my. It's the only real meta joke in any of these Dcoms so far that I've noticed.
They had the very there's the classic joke at the end too with Cleveland.
Oh yeah, my father's from Cleveland.
I still don't really understand what happens at the end, and I've watched this movie a million times.
What about it? Don't you understand, man?
Why does he get sent back to Cleveland again?
Because that was the deal. Because that was the deal that they made.
What was the deal again?
If I beat you in basketball, then you have to you have to go live forever in the land of my fathers, in the shores of Erie. And then that's when he's like, it's not Erie, boyo, it's Era. And then he's like, my father's from Cleveland. And then Seamus gets sent up and he's like, Ohio!
Oh my God. So that's the whole big joke. Yes, yeah. Ohio.
Yeah.
They were ahead of the time.
Dude, they were so ahead of the time.
Best in Ohio. Everything.
They were so ahead of. Lucky the Irish was 20 years ahead of its time.
That's interesting. I will. You know what I have to though. Swinging back over to High School Musical, their last game. I need to talk about their last game. So there's one of those ridiculous scenes. It's one of the ridiculous things at the end, right? Where like they have to be in a million places at once. Troy has his basketball game going on. Gabriella's got her science fair.
Scholastic thing, yeah.
Yes, and then they also have to make
callbacks, final
auditions.
Final callbacks.
Okay, what's that mean?
Second, third audition to see who gets the part.
Okay, yes. So, what I think is very interesting about this is they fucking gassed out an entire room to make this happen. Yeah. What kind of laws were they breaking here to make this?
Also with the gym, with the scoreboard?
Yeah.
Like, that's dangerous. Like, even the guy who was the coach in Double Team says during the game, he's like, we have to, like, evacuate the gym for everyone's safety. It's like, you guys could have killed someone.
Yeah, well, and they gassed out a room.
Yeah. What kind of gas was it, too?
Yeah, they didn't say, like...
They didn't say, it was just some blue liquid that started stinking up the place.
They weren't like, don't worry, everybody's going to be safe. They never say that. It's just like this thing, and everybody's like, oh, we got to get out of here. Like, what the fuck
just let off mustard gas in the fucking...
like, all just to pull off this fucking...
All just to make a final callback.
An audition.
Which also, you don't see... I didn't like this part. Don't get me wrong, the song, because that's the we're soaring, flying part. I like the song.
Free,
I like that. I like the song. But what I don't like is the entire school comes in. You know what final callbacks and auditions are? They are closed sets because the school should not be seeing auditions. The entire school board has now just seen the big final number of the musical.
That's another thing.
It's so stupid.
That's another thing that now again, I personally love this kind of stuff. I love little flaws like that. It's a beautiful little flaw.
They ruined the school musical. This poor girl, this poor composer who has spent however long getting the shit kicked out of her by Sharpay, spent all this time composing this beautiful musical for everyone to see the big final number before the play even.
Yes. Amazing.
I would laugh if Troy and Gabriella didn't even like get the parts.
Well, that's what
it still went to Sharpay and her brother.
I don't think they even elaborate that on.
No, they do. One. They do. No. At the end of the movie, at the end of the first one, Sharpay walks up to Gabriella and says, "Like, you got the part. Congrats."
Oh, okay. But still, they never even I don't think they talk about the actual play and the actual musical in the second. But
isn't the second one? If I'm remembering correctly, in the second one, don't they get like summer jobs or something?
Yeah. I actually, after watching the first one, I was so hyped that I put the second one on, but I wasn't paying too much attention. That's how much I like the first one, dude. It really got me. It got me going.
I don't know, man. I think High School Musical it's got too many flaws and again, I understand why it's big, because if you're 7 to 14, I totally can understand why you would enjoy this movie, why you would have fun with it. But on an objective rewatch, Luck of the Irish has a more fun plot, has, to me, better written characters. Like, they're not such like cardboard cutouts of a million other stereotypes that we've seen, which is what High School Musical are. They are a lot of big stereotypes. Like the Irish, it doesn't have that. Like the Irish has a pretty well-rounded, diverse cast. There's there's just a lot of fun. There's a lot of magic. There's really good like Celtic music. There's breakdancing. There's basketball. It's a really cool. I think High School Musical is one of those movies that, like, I watched it once. I don't think I ever want to watch it again. Luck of the Irish. Once St. Patrick's Day rolls around this year, I'm definitely gonna watch Luck of the Irish again for St. Patrick's Day. Yeah.
See,
Although, when is St. Patrick's Day? Because when this episode comes out,
we might already be past St. Patrick's Day.
Well, I think if St. Patrick's Day is in March this year.
Yeah, it's always in March, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. This
Yeah.
might come out on St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
Maybe. Definitely
Um,
around there.
Yeah, and you'll probably eat potato chips too. Potato chips, because that's Irish, just like in the movie. Oh, right, they got a potato chip factory.
Emerald Isle, man. The Emerald Isle chips.
Irish people, chips, Seamus.
Great potato famine, dude. That was big. That was why a lot of Irish immigrants came to America.
Yeah.
Because of the Great Potato Famine.
Yeah.
Famines are whatever.
I'm just kidding. I know nothing about my heritage. My heritage.
Well, see,
Becky Lynch. I know Becky Lynch.
I love, dude, the mom in Luck of the Irish.
Yeah, she's like a Becky Lynch type.
She's amazing. She is so much fun.
Yeah, she's cool.
I loved in the beginning of the movie when she's still just like a waspy mom. Her Irish accent is like kind of coming through a little bit. Like you can tell that she's not. You can tell that she is like full-blooded Irish and she's trying to do an American accent. And so I really love that.
Yes, and then she becomes a leprechaun.
And she goes full in. Irish. Like I love it when she's just like when she's talking to Colin, she's just like, it'll be days before you're down to my size. Plenty of time for me to make you some wee little gillies for your feet.
I'm surprised this
I want gillies.
I'm surprised this movie didn't just like make the father a straight up alcoholic.
What? What? Why would he be an alcoholic?
With all the stereotypes they've used in this movie. I mean,
the dad wasn't Irish. Remember?
Oh yeah, he's from Cleveland.
Yeah, the dad wasn't Irish. The dad.
Sorry,
that was
the
why,
grandpa. Seamus probably wasn't alcohol. They were all. They were all.
I'm pretty sure they were just like Coke glasses, but yeah. I mean, it was because it's a Dcom, but I'm sure
Jack and Coke.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, they had the corned beef and cabbage that they threw out the window.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And then Seamus is like, worked up quite an appetite. And it was like, that was the last of those.
It was fun. I will not lie that I did have fun watching Luck of the Irish.
It was such a fun movie.
I'm just like, I really, High School Musical it did it for me on a second round. See, I wasn't like you said. You actually were a music.
I love musicals.
I wasn't really into musicals until I watched. I got a shout out because we're talking about musicals. I got to shout out the Buffy musical episode.
That's probably my top 3 favorite episodes of Buffy.
Really?
Is the musical episode. I love the bad guy in that episode.
That was like award winning. Yeah,
it's
like
a
the
great
jazz
episode.
Dude.
Oh, it's so good. It's a great episode.
Yes. I have that. I have the record, the soundtrack for that on vinyl.
It's a great episode. I love musical episodes of shows.
I think that's why now
Even Stevens had a musical episode.
Yes, and that was good. Sixth period. We
went to the moon in 1969.
Not 1968, but a year after. Oh my god. So I think that's why like now in my age I can really respect the musicals, and I see why High School Musical was legendary. I like Luck of the Irish. It was fun to watch, but we got to bring this to a vote. There's no we can't. This is way too.
Yeah, like I cannot in good conscience say that High School Musical is better than Luck of the Irish, especially a better Dcom. Like I just can't do it.
See, that's the thing is, you got High School Musical, which was like a breakthrough movie.
Yeah.
It ended up getting box office. By the third one was a box office movie. The second wasn't. I thought the second.
No,
one
the third one was the one that was in theaters.
Yeah, which that one is probably trash, honestly. Second was like whatever. It was fine. It was mid, but it led a legacy, and it deserves to get up for a vote. Against Luck of the Irish, which is admittedly looked at. I know that this is a classic, and I think this is going to be a tough fight because Luck of the Irish is.
I think Luck of the Irish is looked at as a very classic Dcom. High School Musical is looked at as a very classic Disney movie.
Yes, I can agree with that. I can 100% agree.
So I don't know. Yeah, this is really gonna have to be up to you guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Go on TikTok. Follow us at the Dcom debate. Take the polls. Let us know because this is a really tough one. This think this one's probably going to be as tough as the Brink and Johnny Tsunami one as to which one is actually better. But yeah, we will see you guys next week where we will be talking about Pixel Perfect versus Cadet Kelly. That'll be a fun one. And yeah, see you guys next week.